The NASDAQ Stock Market, commonly known as the NASDAQ, is an American stock exchange. In terms of market share and volume traded, it is the largest stock exchange in the U.S. The exchange platform is owned by the NASDAQ OMX Group, which also owns the OMX Stock Market Network and several other U.S. stock and options exchanges. History: in 1972, NASDAQ stood for National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotations. NASDAQ was founded in 1971 by the National Association of Securities Dealers, which divested itself of NASDAQ in a series of sales in 2000 and 2001. NASDAQ is owned and operated by the NASDAQ OMX Group, the stocks of which were listed on its own stock exchange beginning July 2, 2002, under the ticker symbol NDAQ. When the NASDAQ began trading on February 8, 1971, it was the world's first electronic stock market. At first, it was merely a quotation system and did not provide a way to perform electronic trades. The NASDAQ helped lower the spread but was unpopular among brokerages which made much of their money on the spread. NASDAQ eventually assumed the majority of major trades formerly executed by the over-the-counter system of trading, although there are still numerous securities traded in this fashion. As late as 1987, the NASDAQ exchange was still commonly referred to as OTC in media and also in the monthly stock guides issued by Standard & Poor's Corporation. Over the years, NASDAQ became more of a stock market by adding trade and volume reporting and automated trading systems. NASDAQ was also the first stock markets in the United States to start trading online, highlighting NASDAQ-traded companies and closing with the declaration that NASDAQ is the stock market for the next 100 years. Its main index is the Nasdaq Composite, which has been published since its inception. However, its exchange-traded fund tracks the large-cap Nasdaq 100 index, which was introduced in 1985 alongside the Nasdaq 100 Financial Index. Until 1987, most trading occurred via the telephone. During the October 1987 stock market crash, however, market makers often did not answer their phones. To remedy this, the small order execution system was established. SOES provides an electronic method for dealers to enter their trades. NASDAQ requires market makers to honor trades executed using SOES. In 1992, NASDAQ joined with the London Stock Exchange to form the first intercontinental linkage of securities markets. The National Association of Securities Dealers spun off NASDAQ in 2000 to form a publicly traded company, the NASDAQ Stock Market, Incorporated. In 2006, the status of NASDAQ was changed from a stock market to a licensed national securities exchange. To qualify for listing on the exchange, a company must be registered with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, must have at least 3 market makers and must meet minimum requirements for assets, capital, public shares, and shareholders. In February 2011, in the wake of an announced merger of New York Stock Exchange Euronext with Deutsche Bar Paragraph RSE, speculation developed that NASDAQ OMX and Intercontinental Exchange could mount a counter-bid of their own for New York Stock Exchange. NASDAQ OMX could be looking to acquire the American Exchange's cash equities business, ICE derivatives business. As of the time of the speculation, New York Stock Exchange Euronext Euro unregistered trademark S market value was $9.75 billion. NASDAQ was valued at $5.78 billion, while ICE was valued at $9.45 billion. Late in the month, NASDAQ was reported to be considering asking either ICE or the Chicago Merc to join in what would probably have to be, if it proceeded, an $11 a euro 12 billion counterbid. The European Association of Securities Dealers automatic quotation system was founded originally as a European equivalent to NASDAQ. It was purchased by NASDAQ in 2001 and became NASDAQ Europe. Operations were shut down, however, as a result of the burst of the dot-com bubble. In 2007, NASDAQ Europe was revived as Aqueduct, and is currently operating under Bar Paragraph RSE Berlin. On June 18, 2012, NASDAQ became a founding member of the United Nations Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative on the eve of the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development. In 2013, NASDAQ OMX was approached by private equity firm Carlyle Group about taking the exchange operator private, but the talks fell apart over a disagreement on price. Quote availability: NASDAQ quotes are available at 3 levels. Level 1 shows the highest bid and lowest offer inside quote. Level 2 shows all public quotes of market makers together with information of market dealers wishing to sell or buy stock and recently executed orders. Level 3 is used by the market makers and allows them to enter their quotes and execute orders. Trading schedule: NASDAQ has a pre-market session from 4 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., a normal trading session from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., and a post-market session from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Indices: NASDAQ 100, NASDAQ Bank, Market Tiers, NASDAQ Capital Market a Euro Small Cap, NASDAQ Global Market a Euro Mid Cap, NASDAQ Global Select Market a Euro Large Cap. See also: ACT, NASDAQ Futures, Incorporated. NASDAQ Market Site, Economy of New York City, NASDAQ OMX Group, Directors Desk, References. External links: Official website.